All right, so ever since that last little live stream attempt, I kind of been I zoned out. Like I kind of zoned out from it. I like I said the other day for you guys who follow me on various social medias or whatnot, Snapchat or fucking Instagram. First off, just say if you see me, if you do follow me on both places and you see me double tap sometimes, it's because I know for a fact there's a large group of people who follow me only on one of the two. So sometimes I think it's important enough to get out to both of you guys or both groups or whatnot, or if I'm just fucking around. I think the more serious updates I put on Facebook, and then of course there's like the goofy shit on Snapchat and Instagram. Anyway, I was doing the doing some engine tear downs this past weekend, doing some more. I'm almost done with all the A3s I had. Turns out that one of the engines I had was a K20 K20A JDM. You know what happens? Like I took it, I was breaking it down. I'm looking and I see the A2 oil pump. I'm like, oh, so somebody's already upgraded this thing. And then I flip it back over and see the stamp as a K20A. And I guess that, well, I haven't looked into it too much, but I guess that might be one of the things that's different between the JDM K20A3 versus the USDM K20A3. Maybe that comes with the better oil pump already. I'm not sure, or could have been, like I said, upgraded. So I was gonna do that whole block. I was gonna do that whole build for for the RSX, but I couldn't because my stupid ass completely didn't realize. You know, I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna reuse bearings. I have mains and I have rods, but the rods are for the rod bearings I had for that one A2 that I broke down were trash. The rod bearings were fucking gone because it had spun bearings across the board actually. So I need K20A2 bearings, rod bearings, and I didn't have any. I just had the A3. And then, I mean, of course, I could use A3 rods, but like I said before, I eventually plan on swapping that, taking it out of the RSX, putting my built K20 in there, and then using that stock K20 to run in a different car, like an older chassis. I'm looking long down the road, but I'd still, I've been saying recently that I would like to do a stock K20 and boost the fuck out of it and just see how long I can make it last. So that, I want to do the stock K20A2 rod. So anyway, I just ordered bearings. The bearings are on the way. Hopefully, if I'm lucky, they'll be here by the weekend. So yeah, this is gonna be me updating on what's going on now. I noticed I didn't make a video. I was gonna make a video over the weekend. I decided that the space is super cramped for that I'm working in. I work at a snail's pace. And I wasn't wearing much clothes. I mean, you guys already know that I'm half naked in a lot of my uploads. And I just didn't feel like, I was like, I'm not putting on clothes so that way I can film me building an engine again, which I've done already a dozen times. I might do it, I might not. It really just depends on the mood I'm in. I was in a no pants kind of mood, so it didn't get done. Anyway, the build didn't get finished regardless because I didn't have rod bearings. So all I did was bolt the crank in. Also, the K20A had, the K20A2 had pretty, scratched up cylinder walls, but I already dropped the piston ring in and I put it in the biggest part of the wear, like where the biggest wear indentions were in the cylinders. I put it there and I checked the gap. The gaps are fine. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to run it like it is. It's for me, so no big deal. And then, but the K20A also had like serious, wall scratches and shit. So, it looks like for me, if I'm going to flip that, because the whole idea was to flip one of these engine blocks, or rebuild and flip, is I'm going to have to fucking put some money into it. I'm going to have to bore over. And if I do that, then I'm probably going to keep that build. I'm going to keep that block for myself, or maybe I'll sell it on eBay or whatnot. That's something I maybe want to talk on in real quick. It's something that maybe I've mentioned before, but new subscribers come, so I'll talk about it again real quick. Also, if you didn't see that last live stream, none of you fucking people saw that live stream. The whole thing is the forum I talked about before I made the live stream in another video that I was going to do a car group or the Facebook group for VHP engines. The reason why I was going to do the group, even though I already have a Facebook page for VHP engines, is that way the group, it'll be more open for everybody to openly comment instead of just commenting on what I post. You guys can actively post yourselves. The idea is to take some pressure off me because I constantly get questions, DMs from that are stuff that are really repetitive. So I know that there's some guys that I'm personal friends with on Facebook that have found me through YouTube that know my content is just about as well as I do. So the idea is to pick a couple of guys as moderators, and they can answer questions for me, so I don't have to take the time to do that necessarily. And the thing is, it helps keep me from burning out, because the more you see shit, the more it starts to be like, fuck, I don't want to deal with this. And then that's what I did. Like I said, I shut down from YouTube because I was kind of frustrated on the whole live stream flopping, because I wasted my day to make sure I was home at a specific time to do the live stream for nobody to show up. And then I've only been answering DMs here and there. I've been ignoring a lot of them because they're just repetitive shit. And then like I said earlier, you guys can't show up for a live stream for me to answer questions when I ask. I take my time to do that. Then why should I be worried about taking the time to answer your fucking DMs, especially when a lot of times the questions I'm being asked are answered on the channel. People just don't want to take the time to look. So I'm gonna try the forum. I'm gonna try and do that. And make it I'm just going to run a test trial. We're going to run it for 1 month and see where it goes. If it doesn't really pick up traction or it's dead, then I'll just delete the group. It's called The Forum, THE space FORUM. So you should be able to search that. Like, go to Facebook and be like, search group, and search for that, and then request the ad. For those of you guys that feel uncomfortable searching for things, God knows a lot of you, I'm gonna maybe not leave a link in here. I don't know, I'm not 100% sure, but there will definitely be a link on my VHP Engines Facebook. I'll leave a link there so you can click and go directly to it. As far as what I'm doing right now, not only did I kind of burn myself out a little bit on the whole thing from the live stream, I haven't thought about YouTube at all. I've just it's not been on my mind. Recently, I've been more on my mind about getting these engines, all prepped and ready to go. Whether I'm going to sell them as an empty short block, bare block, or rebuild them or whatever, I want them all broken down, and I want them all cleaned, and I want them all ready to do whatever I want to do with them. So that way, the whole thing is I need to do a build. I was like, hey, I just go pick this block up real quick and get to it. I don't have to worry about, I got to go and open it and tear it down, see how everything is. The whole idea is I have everything stripped out and cleaned and ready to go, so that way, if just in case the one of you guys do ask me for a specific bill, I can go grab that and put it on there. Now, to talk about that a little bit, right? I've mentioned back and forth a couple times I was going to save money for an EP3. Now, I was actually well on my way to that. Not really for that purpose, but I was just being careful with my money. I wasn't buying parts. I wasn't buying blocks anymore. I was kind of holding off. I wasn't spending more than $100 a week on little things here and there. It was mainly just taking the wife and kids out to do whatever the fuck they wanted to do. So just kind of holding on tight to my money for just a month. In just a month, I was able to stash away $1,400. Well, this month rolls in, have the money stashed. I'm like, all right, doing pretty good here. So I'm just going to keep stashing money. My wife's car starts having problems. So I had to go buy a beater. So if you follow me on Instagram, you saw the little EK sedan I had. Now, the good thing about that is that EK sedan is 99 2000, and it's all original. So that's cool. The bad thing is it's fucking automatic. It sucks. But whatever. The whole thing is I've got 2 projects on my plate right now, the Integra and the RSX. And so the EK is not, I'm not going to call that a project because I could always sell it, because of the fact that it's automatic. But, also the fact that it's an all original car is a good reason to keep it. So I'm just not going to worry about doing anything with that car except just driving it. As long as it's healthy, keeping it healthy like it is. I had to do a little tweaks to it when I bought it to make sure it didn't blow up. But so far it's holding the things that I've done. But eventually the plan is, like I've said a bunch of times before, is really small turbo, like maybe a GT25R, something small, or 28, a GT28, real small turbo, so that way it doesn't fuck with the AC system. And Vitara build 300 whatever horsepower if I can get out a little turbo. So that's eventual goals, but it's no time soon. There's no time soon. Now what I am hoping comes soon is the RSX. The bearing should be here soon, so I'll get that block assembled. I might get the head gasket this weekend, depends on if the rod bearing's coming or not, and then slap the head on it and build up the whole long block. Now and get that ready to go, and it'll be K20. It essentially will be a K20A2 bottom end with a K20A3 head. So like I said before in that video, the compression should be bumped up a little bit. I think it's maybe 11.5, or some shit like that with that setup. But anyway, it won't be boosted right now. I need a car that, a secondary car as soon as possible that I don't want to spend too much money on. So getting the RSX up to run is my best option. Why? Because I'll just put it is in A, so I just drop the swap back in, and then I just need to replace the 4 wheel studs on the back to put the wheel back on, and the car drives. Now, as far as the Integra goes, the Integra needs I need to put the axles in. I need to mock up the turbo kit. I need to tune. I need to finish the ABS delete, which is not much, but still. The brake system on the front is all torn down, calipers, rotors, all that shit. So that all needs to be replaced. Honestly, guys, like as much as I love and want to keep that Integra, it's honestly there's so much fucking little work it's gonna build up over time. Where I'm thinking about I need to find a reliable person I can drop and have do basic shit. It's gonna be quality work, so that way I don't have to worry about dealing with it. Or fucking pull the swap out again and buy another Integra shell. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm going to do that. But I don't know. As far as having that car drive, it's just, I still don't see anytime soon. My most important thing is just having it turned on. So I found a place over the weekend that sells cheap batteries. They're like $45. I actually bought one for the EK sedan. The fucking battery was done. Had to buy a battery, the next day after I bought the car. But that was cool though. I found a place that has those cheap batteries, so I'll have full cranking amperage for the Integra, so I know that that's not a problem anymore. And if the car still doesn't turn over, at least then I know I have a fresh battery, so I can take the time to troubleshoot properly to get the car running. Once the Integra is running, then I have to sit back and assess my mood and how I feel, and that's just going to be the motivator to see whether I push forward or not. Another thing is the whole wheel bearing issue I was having. Long ass time ago when I was still in West Virginia, I changed out wheel bearings twice, and I was still having kind of issues where it's like a lot of slop and play. But I'm starting to think that it's not really that it's a lot of slop and play in the bearing, that it's just the fact that the axle's not locked in place. So what I'm going to do, because the axle, having it torqued down is going to, hopefully make that last bit of compression and binding, because there's no reason why that those bearings should be loose when they're fucking brand new. And I definitely know I put them in right. So anyway, that's a whole other thing. I think that's going to be one of the big deciding factors on what I do with the Integra, because that's a big problem that I'm dealing with, or I'm going to have to deal with. It's going to be like whether I'm fuck with this or not. So I'll put the axles in and see what's up with there. If I still got play, then I might send off the car. But the problem is with me going to a shop, there's only like 1 or 2 people in South Florida that I trust to like give my car to and let work on them, that I know that I'm not going to have to go behind them and check the work and everything again. My problem is with that is that, because of who they are, I don't know if I'm going to have time. They're even going to have time for me to do my shit or not. But the good thing being with that is if I get the car running, turned on, like once I get the engine on, I get all the check engine lights and shit dealt with, then I can start mocking up the turbo kit. I'm hoping what's going to happen is I'll turn on that car, and once I hear it run, that it'll motivate me to work on it a little bit more. But right now, the priority is the RSX. And I guess this is kind of just an update to tell you on what I'm really focused on right now. I haven't really put too much thought into any discussions. There's a couple of things that have kind of crossed my mind real quick, but they kind of come and go. Like they haven't landed. Like a lot of times I come and tell you, like I'll make multiple videos in one day. I had to talk about this. Well, I haven't had one of those moments in a while where shit just kind of goes to mind. I'm just like, I really don't care enough to talk about it. And a lot of times too, ideas come from you guys and your questions, but there hasn't really been any questions that are new. All the questions I've gotten recently with the last 20 or so DMs has just been basic repetitive stuff, or people want me to baby step them through their builds or whatever. So yeah, I really hope the forum thing works, because as much as I like to control, information, like I don't want you to come to VHP Engines as a source and then like a whole bunch of people are throwing their input on it, and I'm trying to correct what's bad or agree with what's not. But it's just an experiment, really, guys, to see if the whole idea works. And it's share your builds and projects, ask questions, stuff like that. And if it goes smooth, then that'll be great. It'll take a big, it'll lift a bunch of shit off my shoulders. If not, then like I said, I'll just delete the group and it won't be a big deal. Anyway, so it's just for those of you who care what's going on or what's going through the head right now. That's what I'm thinking about. I don't want to say I'm going to take a break from VHP Engines, but I'm just saying that right now, making more discussion topic videos is just, there's nothing that intrigues me enough to snatch my focus right now. I haven't stumbled on anything that I really want to talk about that's inspired me to jump back in front of the camera. There's nothing that's been asked that's inspired me to want to jump back in front of the camera. So I'm not saying I'm going to go into a hiatus, again, because I could, tomorrow I'll wake up with another idea. Who knows? But just want you guys to know that I'm still here. And, of course, if a week or two goes by, it's not a big deal. And maybe, I don't know, I'll just film what I'm working on or whatnot, or maybe I'll just put something up. I've already got over 400 some videos, man. I just don't want to put up random shit that's just not going to catch anybody's attention. I don't want to, start, tanking people's expectations where they're taking notifications off VHP just because the last couple uploads have just been shit. And I want to put a stretch on those live streams. I want to get away from those, put more content out, but it's just, it's got to happen organically. I'm not going to force it. And I don't know. I got to do a lot of rearranging this shit. Code enforcement came through finally. And actually the fact that I had the extra cars what fucked me. Because my cars, the way they're all assembled apart, all my parts on my front of my place, even though they're covered, you can still obviously see they're there. But all my cars were blocking it from the front. And everybody in the neighborhood has cars parked on the fucking lawn, blocking the sidewalk. It's even annoying for me because I got to walk in the fucking street to go get my son from school because people are blocking the sidewalk. So I understand what it's like. There's only a 3-hour window where the car's parked like that because, me and my wife switched schedules. But code enforcement hit one guy, and that guy immediately used me as an example. And I'd only been there for an hour, and the car was leaving in 2 hours again. But whatever. So because the guy complained, code enforcement had to come. When he came to knock on the fucking door, then he's looking at my shit and he's like, "Oh my god, dude, what the fuck?" He's like, "It kind of looks like you're running a shop here." I'm like, It's not. I'm not running a shop. I don't do work for people. It's just an obsessive hobby that I have. I don't want to sell that shit. It's my shit. But the bad thing about that is now it's forcing me to do something about my situation. And honestly, the reason why I have as much shit in the front as I do is because it's the only place in the house where it has a solid overhang that protects my shit from the weather. I don't have any space inside the crib to put the shit, or I would. And the backyard is open to the fucking constant rain that Florida gets. We get rain all the time. And the Harbor Freight tent thing that I put up is more of a pain in the ass headache than anything because the space I put it in isn't really big enough. And it wasn't built properly, so it's always flooding the roof. And it's a piece of shit, and it's my fault because of the way I put it together. I cut corners because I didn't want to deal with it. But now what I'm going to have to do is, the idea is I'm going to get pallets from work, take those home, maybe put some plywood over it to bring it all together and make it solid so there's no divots in the slats and shit, and then buy a tarp and start moving all my shit from the front to the back because the guy gave me 2 weeks. The dude's like a nerdy old white guy, and he's actually cool because every time I've ever heard stories of people in code enforcement, it was a really bad situation, a bad scenario. People were assholes, threatening fines right away. The dude straight up asked me, he's like, "How much time you need?" And I was like, "Oh, I definitely need till the weekend." And he's like, "How's 10 days sound?" I'm like, that's fair and fine. So now I gotta reorganize. So I'm gonna have a really busy weekend, and on top of that, normally I have 3 days off in a row. And it's not going to happen this week because there's some crazy shit going on in the company. So I have to work Monday a couple hours during the afternoon to be there. They're going to give us Sunday night off, and then we're going to work Saturday. So I'm going to have Thursday and Friday off. I got to work Saturday, and Thursday doesn't really count because I'm leaving Wednesday into Thursday. I'm going to be asleep most of the day. So I don't know. I gotta start figuring out. I gotta start moving shit. I gotta figure out. I might have to rent a truck because I don't have anything to take the damn pallets from here to there. So even though I'm gonna get them for free, I still gotta figure out a way to move them around. All right. So anyway, this is gonna take a really long time to upload with this. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off here. I guess just watch Instagram, Snapchat, or whatnot. If I don't feel like I have any content that's worth putting up, I'll just put it up in Snap Stories instead. All right, guys. Thanks for watching and peace.